Constitutional. Former U.S. Senator Alan Simpson has died. Simpson, political legend for many years because, quick wit, we'll call it. He used to have some fun comments, let's put it that way. Alan Simpson was 93. He died early today after struggling to recover from a broken hip in December, according to a statement from his family. A political moderate by current standards, the Republican Simpson, 3 terms as senator from 1979 to 1997, covered the party's rejuvenation under Ronald Reagan. Simpson played a key role rallying GOP senators around the party's legislative agenda as a top Senate leader during that time. Simpson was better known for holding his own views. He was a deficit hawk, but he supported abortion rights, an example of moderation that contributed to his fate in the GOP. A football and basketball athlete at the University of Wyoming, Simpson fondly described politics as a contact sport. Simpson's candor made him popular with voters. He was also known as a well-read, hard-working, and sometimes hard-nosed politician. He was heavily involved with the issues of immigration, veterans affairs, and environmental issues, with views that would certainly put him at odds with his party in this day and age.
Thank you, John.
One more. Can I do one more?
Sure.
I just want to say John Feinstein died.
Oh, yeah.
And he was a fine writer. He wrote 40 books, but I've only read, I think, 3 of them.
Did you know him?
And each of them.
I never met John.
Wonderful.
We can ask Patrick about him. So I think he and Patrick were pretty good buddies.
Yeah.
His
go
big
get
one was
Patrick.
Season on the Brink
Yeah.
about Bobby Knight in Indiana.
Let's go to Patrick, but first let me tell you about my friends at Fast Photo Film. It's an old-fashioned photo lab right here in Bloomington, Minnesota, and they're here to handle all of your film processing, photo scanning, photo restoration. They can also do custom greeting cards for any occasion, photo books, and passports by appointment only. Here's the deal. Right now, they've got a sale going on for all of you GLers. It's 50% off their Pro Scan prices, and that runs through the end of the month of March. The more photos you have, the greater the savings. And that's because every family has that box of memories, and they often don't know what to do with them. So here's an idea. You can digitize them for safekeeping that generations can then enjoy. But you got to mention Garage Logic, and you're also going to get that cool, unique gift. But go online to fastphotofilm.com. Photo is spelled with an F, by the way. When you go online to that website, you can see all the cool and unique projects that they have for you. It's a great gift-giving and some great gift-giving ideas as well. But once again, make sure you go online to fastphotofilm.com, photo spelled with an F, and please let them know that you heard about them on the Garage Logic podcast.
Who is the power in the girls' basketball tournament? I have no idea.
Hopkins wins it a lot. Benilde's won a bunch in girls basketball. I don't know if they got beat last night or not, though. I don't know. I forgot to look at all the scores. I think Benilde won 3 straight in 3A or something.
Greenway's
like that.
kid, though, is the best player in the state.
Yeah, the Providence Academy kid, the junior, Chad Greenway's kid, Madden. Yeah, and she's and her younger sister, who's I think a freshman now. I haven't seen her play this year. I saw the freshman last year, and she's a little tiny kid, but she was pretty good. But this Madden, who's committed to Kentucky, although hasn't signed anything yet because she's a junior, is a more of a physical girl and a gal and a really good athlete. And I went and saw her play at Albany last year, where Albany actually beat her. And you talked to Chad, and he's signing autographs, and he's great. And then the game starts, and he's a typical parent. He's a little upset with the referees, so. So
I think Eastview and Hopkins were playing on TV last night, and I only mentioned that because I had to keep switching over to watch the Wild lose in overtime to the Rangers.
We're not scoring a lot. We got 2 last night. That's got to be enough to win the way they're scoring now. So they definitely are struggling. I think they got 9 points, 9 of their last 20 points, but they've been the lowest scoring team in the league, I read today, since Kaprizov stopped playing.
Well, somebody in town must know what's wrong with him, but they haven't spoken. I don't know.
The groin, but what they did to the groin, whether they had to surgically repair it or what they did, but it was a groin injury originally, I guess. But of course, the writers have to say lower body, or the team will get mad at them.
Well, by not officially shelving him, they must anticipate he is going to play again this year.
Yes, they could have done he's out for the rest of the regular season, and then they would have had more salary cap money to do something at the trading deadline. But they must expect him to come back, because they didn't do that. They want him to play a few games before the playoffs start, I would imagine. But
I don't think their playoff certainty is certain. Wait, what?
St. Louis is here tomorrow, right?
Mm-hmm.
And St. Louis is 9 points behind them, so I think they're pretty safe.
Well, I know you do, but then you just put the kiss of death on it by saying that.
That's a lot of points, though, in the modern NHL. I mean, the last 2 games at home, they've pretty much sucked as far as offensively concerned, and they got 3 out of 4 points, because you get the
9
overtime.
points is 4.5 victories. That's plenty of time for St. Louis. I don't have great hopes for the playoffs. I'm sorry. Sorry.
Well, I don't know once they get to the playoffs if they're going to do a lot, but they really surprised us there for a long time, and now they're playing this boring style of hockey. But poor old Faber, I hope he holds up. They only play him about 28 minutes a game. He's out there
they really do.
He's out there all the time. They're playing him to death, man.
Say, John Feinstein died.
Yes, it sounds like a heart attack.
I did not know him.
I knew him fairly well. He was, Bobby Knight hated him, so he couldn't have been that bad a guy.
Right, right.
And he wrote the book, and Bobby always insisted he gave him that access, but he wasn't going to write the bad stuff. Well, how can you be a reporter and write a book and see some of that stuff, and you got to write it. You're there to write about who Bobby Knight is, and it made him a very wealthy man, and he pretty much quit the Post. He kind of was a part-timer at the Post after that, and wrote a lot of books. Some of them did pretty well. A lot of golf stuff, the one
Good
about
Walk
the Ryder
Spoiled
Cup.
or something like that.
Good Walk Spoiled, yeah. And then he wrote the one about the Ryder Cup, and he had enough. He was independently wealthy, so he had enough money that he could do anything he wanted to. He wasn't a bad guy, but he was. I was at some events with him, Final Fours and stuff like that, and he was firm in his opinions. I'll say that, and he would express them. But most everybody. But he was a dookie. See, that was my problem.
Well, there you are. That's a problem.
Yeah.
Deep in his heart, he was.
But he's only 69. That's young.
Yeah, I know. It's 60. I saw 68 or 69. But yeah, he was. I think he was just visiting his brother or something, and had a heart attack. So. That's.
Are you watching any of the Players Tournament?
I was going to make this observation to you, Joe. I'm watching
right.
the Players Tournament right now.
Hmm.
You know what's really improved?
Hitting the ball a long way.
Television's ability to cover golf.
That really has.
Because the first time I watched golf was basically the 1958 Masters with Arnie.
Mm-hmm.
It's really improved a lot.
Boy, I'll say, I think they had one camera, didn't they?
He used to have 4 holes. We saw 4 holes, and we saw a lot of face shots of Arnie. We didn't. So it's improved a lot. They just had Deuce Bobick on, the Minnesota football player who's now a big shot in the. He was a rules official forever, and he's now got a big job with the PGA Tour.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's a tour.
They have 146 cameras on the golf course.
Wow.
To show you virtually everything, shot link and all, 146 shot link cameras, and then the other cameras. And
I love that course, don't you?
Yeah, although they kind of tear it up a little bit now.
No sport has benefited from the drone more than golf.
Okay.
The drone camera.
I'm glad you brought that up. There's only one shot left. I want a camera inside of a golf ball.
Oh, that'd be sick.
Hey,
that probably
you
could
might
be
get
done.
it, Kenny. Don't worry, you might get it.
Yeah,
that'd be fun.
You think the golf ball might say, "Ugh,
ouch,
ouch, damn, that hurts."
I have your matchups that you were looking for if you want those in girls basketball.
Okay, give me 1 minute here.
Oh, sure.
The leader, Bhatia, Bhatia. His parents are from India. He grew up in California. He was born here, and he's a lefty. Got big old glasses, and he looks like kind of the kid you'd see in a spelling bee. But he's 11 under after 2 rounds.
It doesn't look like he could survive a windy day, does it? He's just a rail. He's just a thin guy.
There's a lot of new guys we got to start getting used to, though. And, I mean, they're great players. They're just a new generation that it's taken over here. And
2 bits of news about Eldrick. He ruptured his Achilles.
Again, or something. Didn't you have something similar? Right?
I don't know. And then B, he's dating a Trumper. He's dating
really?
one of the Trump wives. One of the exes.
We can all sit here, and a good lefty like me can all sit here and admire golf, but I got to realize that 95% of these jackasses voted for Trump. I mean, now they might not be as happy as they were since their $30 million account has now got $27 million in it, but that's that.
Tiger and some Trump. She was married to a Trump son, and they got divorced.
Really?
Yeah, so he's tied up with her now. I don't know which.
Just make sure that there's no neighbor girls there that can climb through the window.
Vanessa Trump.
Married, Don Jr.
Don Jr.'s ex.
Her name is Trump?
Yep.
Well,
Vanessa
she was
Trump.
married to Don Jr.
Okay. Are they? Is she an attractive lass?
I'll say.
Well, yeah, I would say so.
Has she had some surgery?
That I don't know, Pat. I really don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
Will that affect your opinion of her if she has?
Oh no!
I didn't think so.
Anything for the
cause, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, right. I have no problem. So we fired Ben Johnson at 1. He got off the plane at midnight from Indy, and there was Coyle standing there to fire him, and they sent out the release at 1:07 a.m.
I noted that. I don't understand why then, but that's...
I don't know either. And the other thing is he's on the committee, so he went back to Indianapolis. Really? You can't have a 10:30 press conference here on Thursday when you don't pick the teams until Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And half of them were doing Zoom calls on this committee. They just sit there to watch games and eat canopies or something. But he's got the personality of a wall. That's his problem. And he should. The guy. I'm not saying that Ben deserved to come back. He just deserved to be left, fired with a little more class. And, of course, when he fired Lindsey Whalen, he fired her during the Big Ten, right before the Big Ten women's basketball tournament started at Target Center. So
is Sunday Selection Sunday?
Yes, sir.
Yes, that is. Yeah.
I say as though I care.
You do a bracket with the family,
Well,
don't
I
you?
have to do a bracket, but a trained chimp could do the bracket that I do. I don't know.
Yes, well, I don't even do one anymore. I turned down all those opportunities. I see that the new proposal is a 76-team tournament.
Oh, my God.
Next year to expand from 68 to 76.
Why not
So
176 teams?
yeah, well, and it's going to be hard to fill out the bracket. It'd
take you a while.
Yeah, it would. Anybody who gets a perfect bracket with like 150 team.
Imagine celebrating in that format being the 58th seed, getting into the tournament.
Oh, God, yeah. Well, they all sit there, and we got to sit there and watch them jump up in the air. Even the guys that won the conference tournament. You're going to the tournament. Why are you sitting there and jumping up in the air when they announce your name?
The Gophers won't be considered for NIT, will they?
I don't believe the NIT is going to be that rotten. They ended up 15 and 17. They ended up, and they played a pathetic non-conference schedule. And he had a stretch in the middle of the Big Ten where they went 6-3.
Yeah.
And it was amazing to me that because it was a bad team. You know what else, Joe? Couldn't shoot free throws either.
Yeah. The reason I ask about the NIT is Ben gone, or would he coach them in the NIT?
No, he's gone. He's gone.
So they wouldn't even have a coach.
What's interesting is Dave Thorson is pretty much his lead assistant, the veteran De La Salle coach, and a leading candidate is Nico Medved at Colorado State, and Dave was his assistant at Drake and Colorado State, and they have 3 recruits coming in for next year that Thorson has helped recruit. So if Medved gets the job, I would guess he stays on the staff. So
I'll talk to you Monday.
All righty. Who you like to win the golf tournament? Give me your winner right now. Rory, only 2 behind.
Where's Fowler?
Not to be seen.
Yeah, he's
I got to mention this.
He's on the
Who's
leaderboard.
really had a good career for the last couple of years.
Scotty Scheffler.
No, the guy with the goofy wife, Lucas Glover.
Oh,
Remember?
yeah.
Yeah, like 2018, he had to call the cops on his wife because she was drunk, telling him how horrible he was.
Right.
That's right. I forgot about that.
I think it was at this tournament, wasn't it, where she told him how terrible he was? And when he got home...
I've always had a soft spot for him ever since.
Yes, right, because they're still together.
Because he was losing the game of flaws big time.
That kind of reminds me of a couple of guys I know.
Why do you think I have a soft spot for him?
But she was, but I think both of our brides can chew us out without being drunk, can't they? They just
that's true. That's true. Yeah.
I mean, Katie has 6 drinks a year and can still find all the flaws in a person that you could possibly hope to come up with. So,
all right. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
The CP has a list on the refrigerator that gets updated on a daily basis.
Yeah. You got to take a break?
No, I'm not. I want to
go
hear
to the
from Matthew.
Rookster?
Well, I got to tell you all about a wonderful garage idea for you, and that is getting your floor done. And the people that do it have been in the business for a long time, and you know what? They know exactly what they're up to. So if your garage floor needs a little pick-me-up, well, you need to get in touch with my wonderful, wonderful buddies that are going to make sure that your floor is going to be done to the T. And what does that mean? Well, that means when you go into that door and it's cracked and you're sick and tired of looking at that, what happens is you call Innovative Garage Solutions and they are going to do you right. Now, what are they going to do? Well, they're going to make sure that your garage floor is going to be done and it's going to look beautiful. I've had this done in the past, and you know what? I absolutely love the fact that they came out and they did a fantastic job, and you are going to be the envy of your friends. You know why? Well, because Innovative Garage Solutions, they just come out, they look at your floor, and they say, we can make this thing look absolutely beautiful. So do yourself a favor. Call their number, 763, let me get it up here. Contact us. I lost my page on my 763-291-0110. And Innovative Garage Flooring, they do a good job. I've had this done, and you're probably gonna sleep on it. I'll tell you that right now.
You'd sleep on the floor?
Call them, let them know that the Rook sent you, and you are ready for a brand new Garage Mahal. 763-291-0110. It's innovativegaragebflooring.com.
Oh, no. Damn right. It's Friday and it's an opener.
Let's go!
It's an opener.
I'm back in the airport.
It's the scramble! You're losing your siren ability. There it is. Congratulations, Tim Roth in Madison,
Timmy.
Minnesota. You're the GLer of the week, and you get the Masters Maple Syrup Kit.
And if you'd like to become the GLer of the week, just make sure you go and you upgrade your membership. If you are not an annual town council member, then you need to do that now. And you could become, who knows who's going to become the next GLer of the week.
I do.
Just go to garagelogic.com and you will find all of the details. So congratulations, Tim.
Tim Roth in Madison. Congratulations.
One of the funnest little dirt tracks in the state, Madtown.
Cool.
We played a prom in Madison, Wisconsin back in the band days, and it was pretty much all girls. They gave each other corsages and the whole deal.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are the Bananas. Boo.
The winner was from Madison, Minnesota, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Didn't I say Madison, Minnesota?
No, but you were reminiscing about Madison, Wisconsin.
No,
which
I
is-
meant Madison, Minnesota.
Oh,
okay.
you did.
Oh, you
yeah,
did.
yeah, yeah.
I was a little confused.
See, I got to mention this only for purposes of making a prediction. A group of Muslim Minneapolis City Council members canceled a Ramadan event scheduled to be held in a city building after being told they can't do that. Council member Jamal Osman posted on Facebook that an iftar, co-funded by City Council Vice President Aisha Chugati and Council members Jeremiah Ellison and Oren Chowdhury, would no longer be held at the city's public services building today. An iftar is the nightly breaking of the fast during the Islamic month of Ramadan. And they went on. The only reason I mention this is it's inevitable that they'll get their way. They're asking now, and given the church and state speech, but they'll probably figure this out how to do this. But here's why I mention it. This prohibition applies regardless of religion, whether this was an iftar, seder, or a Lenten fish fry. The advice would have been the same. City resources can't be used for religious events, said Minneapolis City spokeswoman Jess Olstead. Council members could have moved their event to a non-city location and used non-city funds, but apparently council members made the decision to cancel. In other words, what that sounds like to me is they not only wanted to have it in a city building, they wanted it to be paid for.
See you on that. We ain't got that in the budget,
and
baby.
they allege that Police Chief O'Hara had hosted a similar event using city resources. Police spokesman Sergeant Garrett Parton said O'Hara had hosted 2 iftars in the past, but no city resources were used. Mm-hmm. Why she's ignoring this fact and spreading this information is puzzling and disappointment, Parton said of Chugati. Well, anyway, just might as well get ready.
Is there
for the inevitability of? Well, let's just go all the way and have Sharia law.
Question?
Really?
Were they going to plan on having a dance after the fish fry?
Not if they had smoked carp. You get the bad breath with smoked carp.
Still, the ultimate compliment. Rookie, your siren sounds are making my dog bark. Yeah. So even though I'm kind of trailing off, I still somewhat.
And I do want to mention, give another mention of Stephen C. Anderson, and accompanied by all his pals. It'll be great. 1 p.m. at the Cathedral tomorrow, and yes, there will be Irish tunes involved when he brings in his great piano to the Cathedral. 1 p.m. tomorrow. Eventbrite.com. And I noticed this: there's a bill proposing the return of the retired Minnesota state flag. I'd vote for that because I sure as hell don't acknowledge the new one.
You think they'll get enough support?
I'll vote twice.
The new one is meaningless. It's a Walls flag. It's meaningless. We want to restore the.
What's the
who
flag's
did
pronoun?
The bill is authorized by 22 House Republicans. It would allow the flying of the historic state flag at the Capitol, on state properties, on official state holidays, and during the legislative session. Well, let's go for it. I agree.
Recently, an announcement came out. It was either this week or last week, and I can't remember the guy his name that he's running for governor. But the Reverend Tim is running as his lieutenant governor, and so they put this announcement on Twitter, and a lot of the complaints came from people on the left because he had an original Minnesota state flag in the background.
Really?
They were angry at him over that. And then other people, the opposite was also true. People were saying, well, hell, I'm voting for you just because you have the flag in the background. Yeah. The whole argument became about the flag. It was
the new flag
ridiculous.
The new flag is meaningless and pointless, which it was intended to be. Only because they come to us all the way. Boy, this would be nice to get this fixed someday, wouldn't it? Huh?
Well, when it does get fixed, someone keeps
You
playing
gotta
with
bring
it.
a bleeping tool chest in here.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting
Do it
that
like a man.
only one of the mics usually gets beat up.
End the week, Joe, with a rant, are you?
Yeah.
No, I'm going to end the week with only because. They come from the traveling Lymans at Mpumalanga Province, South Africa, inside the confines of Marloth Park. It was on this day,
You mean the opener, March 14th?
1841. William Dunwoody was born in Pennsylvania. After moving to Minneapolis in 1869, he found his fortune in the grain and flour business. By the time he died in 1914, he contributed millions of dollars to a number of civic organizations, including the Dunwoody Industrial Institute, the Minneapolis Society of Fine Arts, and the YMCA. On this day,
On March 14th.
on this very day, in 1919, Max Schulman was born in St. Paul. An author and Hollywood screenwriter, he was best remembered for creating the character Dobie Gillis, who appeared in short stories, novels, and a television show, all based on the family that owned Gillis's Grocery in Minneapolis. Did you know that?
Didn't know that.
I remember that from This Day in History
didn't know
last
that.
year,
Oh.
and maybe even the year before that. On this day,
March 14th.
in 1924, the last guest checked out of Stillwater's historic Sawyer House, which had operated as a hotel for 67 years. The Lowell Inn was later built on the same site. And finally, on this day, sports related,
On March 14th.
1960, who was born?
March 14th, 1960.
He'd be 65 years old.
Kirby.
Kirby Puckett.
Oh, the Twins.
Future Baseball Hall of Famer and Minnesota Twin Kirby Puckett was born in Chicago.
That makes me feel old that Kirby would have been 65 today.
Yep. And I'm not done with Wanda Gag, and you're going to pay for it. If anyone has time to get out of their geographic and/or mental 6-block perimeter, there is a short video about Wanda Gag in the house. This is from Downing, and he sends a link to the wandagaghouse.org. All right? And then this email
Now another one.
from Jack Stone, who writes, "You're making me nuts. It is Gog with the A being not the way you keep saying it. Being from New Ulm and knowing the Gog family, you got to say it right. I believe it was her father who did the murals in the cathedral in New Ulm. So if you go down there, you need to take a look at that. It is impressive.
You need to.
Yeah. So if I go to the Gog house, I have to go to the cathedral too. Gag sounds better to me.
Wanda Gag was okay, but Wanda Gag 2 was really good.
Was it?
It's,
I didn't.
It's Gog. It's Gog.
It just didn't have the same
The-
element of surprise as one did it?
Any relation to Lady Gaga?
No, it's Gog. G-A-G, but it pronounced, apparently in the New Ulm area, it's pronounced Gog.
Gaga?
I wish for your joke, Kenny, I'd had a wah-wah pedal hooked up here.
Wow, wow. Well, I tried what you told me, Doc, but she was choking.
Hey, now.
Does she get out much?
That's one of the great Norm Macdonald jokes of all time. Thank you, G. Ellers.
Happy opener.
Happy opener!
One of the greatest jokes he had was the moth one.
Yeah.
Our
The
light
light
was
was
on.
on.
Do us a favor, please hit subscribe on the Garage Logic YouTube, because there you can watch the show each and every single day. It's right around noon, and you can interact with all of the GLers on the Garage Logic YouTube channel in real time as we do the show. And we'd like to thank the thousands of people that have already done that. So once again, hit up the Garage Logic YouTube channel. Also, find us on all of our social media channels. You can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and sign up for the Daily Logician. It's an email, and it comes right to your inbox each and every single day.
And I would like to thank all those of you that have checked us out on YouTube. And on being a Friday afternoon, looks like you can get a good parking spot in there right now at the end of the show because they gone.
Checked out.
Yep.
Like the staff.
Yep.